The end of promotion relegation in Mexico? What's up, mi gente? Listen, I know we're World Cup heavy right now, and as we should be. Argentina just had a ridiculous comeback, or maybe the English had a ridiculous meltdown, and they're on to the they advanced from the semifinal on to the final versus the Spanish national team, and it's all World Cup related right now, and I get it. But I don't know if you saw what Liga MX just dumped, just sent out, thinking the news cycle would take over and nothing would come of this. But according to Liga MX, su comunicado, this press release they made, they say that according to the decision made by the Executive Council of FMF, a partir de la temporada, so from the new tournament 2026 to 2027, the clubs that are integrated within Liga MX will no longer relegate into the expansion league, Liga MX Expansión, and thus the promoted clubs, or those who could be promoted, will no longer have a chance to be promoted. They will close it off. 2026-2027 season. They dumped this in the news cycle, thinking nobody would think anything of it. It's the end of promotion relegation. Now, we could sit here and talk about if it's beneficial, if it's detrimental, and we will. But the fact that Liga MX just thinks they could dump this in and it wouldn't be a big deal because it's World Cup time and the news cycle will take over is mind-boggling for me. Mind-boggling. There are pros and cons to promotion relegation. I've lived it. I've played in a couple scenarios where team could have been relegated and you had to fight your way and what that does to a team. First one was when I played at Tecos 2011 in Mexico, and we actually had a mid-table season, but in Mexico it was a percentage, and that's another thing is they didn't really have promotion relegation. Somebody would go down, but it wasn't really pro-rel. Let me explain it why. In England, in a season, the bottom three go down, top three in the championship go up type of deal. In Liga MX, it was a percentage over 3 years, so you would have to be historically bad to get relegated. And if you were promoted, within a year, they would use that percentage. So if you won while you got promoted in the first division, you shoot right back up, like very, very high in those rankings for the porcentaje, the percentage. But if you lose, like you had a massive, hill to climb, massive hole to dig yourself out of, and it was kind of unfair for the promoted team, and they didn't have parachute payments like La Liga or the Premier League, where it helps that team, ascend and be strong within that first season. It was a fake promotion relegation, if you will. They do this to protect the big dogs, protect the clubs like America, Cruz Azul, Chivas, Pumas, the big teams, so they don't have one bad season and get relegated, because you're talking about hundreds of millions of dollars, if not businesses into the billions for some of these. So that's one. Different type of promotion relegation. Two, when promotion is beneficial. If you're used to fighting for something, if you're used to having a sense of pressure, it works in your favor. When you can say every game matters, every play has mattered for you, it makes you a stronger footballer. When you can say you know what it's like to fight something for it, day in, day out, week in, week out, you're a better football player for it. Excuse me. Having trouble getting these thoughts out right now. That's going to increase the domestic product in terms of the players who are there in that environment. They're going to learn from that, and they're going to be better for it in tougher environments, whether that's the international level or if they go on to bigger and better at the club. The drawback to promotion relegation isn't just the obvious of getting relegated and a player's wages go down, but the whole community, their wages go down, and I'll explain. If you're in promotion relegation, as a player you go down, they're going to cut your wages in half. But with the community, that game day ticket is worth now less. And if that game day ticket's worth less, you pay less to the people who are involved in the game day operations. The sponsors are going to pay you less. The communities that are there may take a detrimental hit, whether that's local game day experience in terms of restaurants, in terms of entertainment, in terms of the vendors that are there, in terms of the community and the tourism it brings in, and an influx of the economy that could be brought in to help your team. It's less. And if it's less, you're not thriving. So there are drawbacks to it. I've been in situations like Puebla, where we were fighting relegation, and they'll let you know. They'll remind you of how important this is. You can't lose this game. This is important. 3 points to 1 point mean a massive deal. It's the literal difference between salvation, in the first division, and being less in terms of your worth in the second division. And clubs pay a lot for this salvation. A lot. When I was in Mexico and we were in Puebla, we were a mid-table team, but we were fighting the porcentaje. We were fighting that percentage. And I remember the ownership used to organize, dinners with the players, and they would come hand you envelopes of money, like sometimes 5,000 at a time. Just an envelope, like, hey, come on, guys, we can do this. And you're like, what's going on here? Because they're trying to incentivize you to win. They're trying to incentivize you to do something. This was every week type of deal. There's a lot of good money in Mexico. There's a lot of good money around the world, and the ownership groups know this. And if you descend, if you are relegated, they know it devalues their model, devalues the organization. But what Liga MX is doing here is wrong on a level of not just ending promotion relegation. We could all have our independent thoughts. I think it's crucial for the lifeblood of these teams, these players. But it's the way they're doing it. Just dumping it in like nobody will notice. Listen, Pro Rel isn't great for everybody. If you're a domestic player, a team's going to be like, well, a young domestic player, why do I need to develop him if I'm just trying to stay afloat? I'm going to go with something proven. I'm going to go with an older domestic player or an older foreign player. I don't want the young domestic player because there's a learning curve that comes with it. And then with that learning curve could be points. I need the points. So I guess that's who you ask in their perception of promotion relegation. But every day, Liga MX gets closer to being MLS. Every single day. Leagues Cup, Campeones Cup, no Pro Rel. The way they advertise, the way they link up with who deals in the commercial aspect of it every single day. And this is another example of that. These are now franchises. They're going to close off the system. So whether you're for Pro Rel, against Pro Rel, there needs to be something studied about the relationship there and what you're trying to achieve. Because I don't think the two models are exactly similar. So what's good for one maybe is not good for the other. Decepcionante. It's not the way I thought they would have gone about things. But par for the course, I guess. The news cycle will take over. They dumped it on us in the World Cup. Pro Rel. It ended. Give me your thoughts on what you think.